breakages.
Keep this beast in the air and pull timber out of the forest. Looks like we got a leak here.
It could be catastrophic.
You'll see how it all goes down on Impossible Repairs.
My name is Mike Davidson.
Coming around!
So great. I've worked aboard and inside some of the most incredible machines on Earth.
This thing is pretty badass.
Here we go. Now I'm going back in.
It is tight in here.
I just love it. Digging into the guts and bolts of these machines. To discover how the hard hat heroes keep things running.
Power's on.
Nice and easy.
Make it all happen.
You got a problem, man.
This is Impossible Repairs. I'm heading out for the final 5 days of a 6-week heli-logging mission in the deep woods of the Pacific Northwest.
But before we can pull logs out, some of these bad boys need to come crashing down.
The crew I'm meeting is on a deadline.
Guys, where are we? Where are we headed? We're gonna head up to the highest point of this block. Okay, so we got a bit of a height.
Working to make their quota. 48,000 tons of hemlock, fir, and cedar trees by the end of this trip.
We're heading up to the logging site. It's tough up here.
I can hear the chainsaws already. Like any business, logging is about margins. The faster they get the timber out of the forest, the more money they make.
You guys are built tough for this job, I'm telling you. You gotta love it.
Bill Robertson and his crew have been out here for weeks.
Thanks. That was a nice one. Yeah.
There's some big trees in here.
Yeah, there's an old gnarly fir tree there, some cedars, and these are hemlocks, small hemlocks I'm on here.
How many trees are coming down?
Probably gonna drop about 30 trees.
But they have to do it safely.
You lose lots of good friends for sure. I've seen it lots. Stand in the wrong spot, make your wife a widow.
This big guy right here has to come down. Right on, can I get my hands on this one?
You sure can.
All right.
Let's just drop it.
All you need is a serious chainsaw. With blades nearly a meter long, this could go wrong really fast. Do not try this at home.
Yeah! That's how you do it!
The fallers have finished working this area. What was a thick forest is now cleared out.
There's $14 million worth of wood waiting for a ride. Cutting it was the easy part. To get paid, they'd have to get it out. Enter the S64 Air Crane.
There's logs in the sun there you can pull from. Yeah, it's just gonna tell you.
This is why they call it heli-logging.
Hey man, that's a big one. That's 20,000 pounds.
The S64 Air Crane is the only tool in the world that can get 48,000 tons of wood out of this forest.
Right on.
The faster they finish, the more money they make. But as I'm about to find out, it's a relentless grind.
Some burnt coals right on the nose.
For the chopper and the people working it. The base for the heli-logging operation is 250 kilometers north of Seattle, Washington. In a remote part of the forest that is completely off the grid. There's not much to it. The most important part is the landing zone. I've arrived just ahead of the S64 Air Crane. It's back from the day's first trip.
It's good on the sun.
The heli-logging crew knows their helicopter better as Lucille.
I'd say that door could come off.
And like the Kenny Rogers song she's named after, every performance Lucille gives deserves a standing ovation.
I need my wingman.
The pilots may get the glory, but for this helicopter to stay up, it's the pros on the ground who have to get their hands dirty.
Turn ahead.
Lucille is a hardened veteran of the skies. But before she can lift off again,
The first stage is up.
Let's get on it, man. Yeah.
seasoned engineer Derek Michaud has to probe every part of this monster.
There's a lot of pressure to get the wood off the hill. I love the pressure, I love the challenges that I face on a day-to-day basis.
Tell me about your background with this helicopter.
Lucille was the very first helicopter I worked on. After 21 years, I'm still here. It still throws me challenges after this long, and that's why I like it. You know, you take nothing for granted. You get too comfortable with it, and it'll bite you in a heartbeat. If you think you know everything, watch out.
Fuel system integrity checked. Checked.
Power's on.
Starter. Oil's on the ride.
Derek gives the all clear, and the rotors roar to life with a ferocity that is almost as loud as a clap of thunder.
3. Starter's going.
The S64 Air Crane is one of the most rugged helicopters in the world. They don't get paid to sit on the ground, though. These guys make their money in the air.
Time to buckle up. Pilots Mark Allen and Brian Penner are taking me up.
All right, you guys ready?
Ready as ever.
Yep. Here we go.
They say it's a rough ride, but how hard can it be?
Torque's 35. Feels good.
You can feel the power in this helicopter right away.
Powers.
Pretty unbelievable.
It's all horsepower and fuel tanks.
The S64 Air Crane is a legendary beast of the skies and one of the most powerful helicopters on the planet. Its 2 turboshaft engines produce over 4,000 horsepower, the equivalent of about 20 large SUVs, which is transferred to its 22-meter diameter main rotor and 4.3-meter tail rotor. The mount at the center of Lucille's main body absorbs the vibrations of this monster and holds the long line and grapple, a powerful heavy lifting system.
If you want to talk about tough, consider this. The air crane can pull nearly 2.5 million pounds of timber out of the forest on any given day. So as long as there's trees falling down, the air crane is there to give them a lift.
From up here, we can clearly see the 4 logging zones, called blocks A, B, C, and D.
I'm just flying the grapple onto the log.
And right above block C, Mark and Brian are giving me a hard lesson in grappling.
They've got parallel grapple here and wait for a spin. Sometimes if you open or close the grapple, you can get it to turn for you. Just have to wait. Now I'm on it, closing, and we can go.
Right now we're on what's called a cycle.
A cycle is 1 hour of flying, and each log run up or down the mountain is called a turn.
How many turns do you want to get in a 1 hour cycle ideally? What's the target number?
Well, it'll vary for every job, distance, the type of logging you're doing, the type of fly, uphill or downhill. Everything factors in.
On a 1 hour cycle, this helicopter can perform up to 30 turns, each time grappling the logs and then leaving them at roadside drop zones at the bottom of each block.
The fact that you guys do this all day long, 7, 8, 10 cycles a day, every day, it's impressive.
It's unreal.
What's the max lifting capacity of the air crane? Pretty
So
wild.
42,000, but 20,000 pounds on the hook.
Impressive.
So,
Right now, they have almost 9,000 kilograms dragging the chopper down.
last turn, we're inbound service. Nice work there, James. Thank you.
Part of the reason Lucille is built so tough is her military history.
The flying crane is brought in for the difficult job of airlifting the aircraft damaged or wrecked in military operations.
Initially, this helicopter was developed for the U.S. Army and was named the CH-54. It was used for aircraft recovery, as well as moving artillery and heavy equipment during the Vietnam War.
Right now, we're just moving full power all the way back up the mountain. And you feel that down in the pit of your stomach.
We're somewhere around the 20th turn on this cycle, and the bumpy ride is starting to get to me.
It's like an aerial ballet up here. It's surfing, looking for the right logs, moving up and down, churning around like a washing machine. And then you feel that downward pressure on your stomach as the helicopter pushes down to the drop zone.
It's like being on a roller coaster that never stops, and my guts can't take it. Luckily, I came prepared.
There you go. Best just to get it out of your system.
How you feeling? I don't feel good. I think you're seasoned though.
Oh yeah, I get sick on helicopters sometimes. It happens. I'll take a little bit of air sickness in this ride any day. So Mark, you think I have the stomach to be an S64 pilot?
You're getting better. Couple more cycles.
It's a hell of a ride.
When it comes to loading logs, this isn't random selection. Project managers Todd Taylor and Dave McMurdo mark the logs with spray paint to tell the pilots how heavy they are.
There's 3 tags in certain weight classifications, so a light turn is 1 tag, a medium turn is 2 tags, and then a heavy turn is 3 tags.
There's a good reason for it.
Our fuel load at the start of the cycle is about 4,000 pounds more than at the end. So that's why we can get the heavier loads just before we need fuel.
With the full tank, they grapple lighter logs that weigh nearly 5,000 kilograms. As they burn through fuel, Lucille gets lighter, so they can go after the heavier wood.
It's 15,000 pounds. It's a single.
Weight isn't all they have to be careful about.
Dropping the log is an incredibly precise job.
Good on the tree liner.
You can put them in the wrong spot, get the angle wrong, drop them from too high, you can damage the wood. And that's a bad day for everybody.
Okay, a little closer here. We're got 2 o'clock. You got a room.
Successful drop. So guys, we're coming to the end of a cycle right now. We're gonna go into refuel.
Correct. It's fairly quick.
When the helicopter comes in for fuel, we're hot fueling. Hot fueling is when you don't shut the aircraft off and you're turning and burning, and we do that in about 5 minutes turnaround time.
Fuel flow is 550.
So in that time, we want to look at every bit of the helicopter that we can. Ready for the chip, John? We're going to walk up each gear leg and check for leaks, check for safety and integrity of the aircraft, and just make sure we're good to go.
On one.
We hot fuel to allow for as much production as we can. Time is money.
And tens of thousands of dollars are on the line every hour.
Okay, we're ready to rotate.
But just when we're ready to go back up,
Okay, you got to check opening. We got a leak. Hold it, hold it. Oh yeah,
the grapple is down for the count.
Derek, what's going on? We got a blowout. What a mess. What a mess.
The grapple, the heart of the operation, is bleeding hydraulic fluid.
We function checked the grapple before we go flying, and some's let go inside of here. There's hydraulic fluid everywhere. We got a hell of a mess here. So, looks like it's coming from underneath this cover. So I'm gonna pop that off and see what we're up against.
So the guys fired up. They were about to take off and then shut down the power. They test systems before they fly. They test pressure on the grapple on the long line, and the hydraulic just dropped like a stone.
The grapple is a giant claw with immense lifting power. This steel behemoth weighs nearly 1,000 kilograms with virtually indestructible talons. But inside, the stress and strain of repeatedly opening and closing its claws wears on the fragile, high-pressure hydraulic hoses that make the grapple's movements possible. If the hoses loosen or fail, hydraulic pressure drops and the claws lose their grip.
Oh yeah, right there. See, it's leaking out of there.
Oh, there you go. They're gonna have to repair this before the guys can go.
They need to fly 10 hours a day to get this job done. So every minute on the ground is thousands of dollars lost.
This fitting has come loose. Let's tighten it up. This wasn't torqued enough. Sometimes the other one. Sometimes they come like that out of the overhaul shop.
Yep. Man, it made a mess though.
Yes, it did. All right.
So hopefully that does it.
I think it's a smoking gun.
You never know, when the engine's shut down like that, it could be anything. Thankfully, it was a quick repair, and the guys will get flying again.
Bumps and bruises from the chopper's workload are a constant. But even minor delays can lead to major problems.
That's the name of the game, right? With these repairs, fix them fast, get them flying.
Try.
Yeah.
It's not always this simple.
Every time the chopper is grounded, this $14 million mission is at stake. As Lucille prepares for her next cycle,
Starters out. 403 and 44.
Could be fly right till the end of the day, so that'll be good.
Dave McMurdo and Todd Taylor work closely with their crews to make sure that time and money aren't wasted.
There's 4 different sections for logging, and there's 4 different log landings. So we've been concentrating on the area here we're calling Unit B.
In 5 days, trucks are arriving to haul the wood out of the 4 different logging blocks.
Is there an amount that you guys have that you want to hit at the end of this job?
What's they're supposed to be on this hillside, we shoot from 9,700 cubic meters off of this block. So that's the target, that's what we want to recover, and that's the goal at the end of the day.
9,700 cubic meters is like having to fill the equivalent of 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools. It's a big job with a multi-million-dollar payday at the end.
Pressure's on
Yes.
to hit the targets. And then, of course, maintenance and unforeseen or unscheduled maintenance that you might come across.
Yeah, Todd does his plan. He does his plans with the guys on the hillside. That plan can go out the window in the first 5 minutes.
All right, let's open the grapple, please.
Okay, opening.
With the grapple lead fixed,
Everybody's in. Buckle. Fuel's good.
we're good to go.
Always awesome on the S64.
That means it's time for my stomach to go another round with Lucille.
What are you watching for on takeoff here, Brian?
Just getting over top of my grapple.
Repairs are inevitable,
And we're ready to go.
so time in the air is precious.
When we're blasting up the mountain like this, what's going on with the aircraft and the power levels here to get back up?
We get her up nearly to maximum power, so we can climb up to 3,000-4,000 feet per minute at 80 to 100 knots. Get us back over the wood as quickly as possible.
100 knots is about the same speed as the winds of a Category 3 hurricane.
The amount of power the air crane has is unmatched. You can just do incredibly quick turns, up and down, up and down.
Got a heavy one here, we're gonna try.
The repaired grapple is being put to the test. And let's face it, some logs are harder to lift than others.
It looks like you're really wrestling with this one.
Yeah.
3 pink lines tell the pilots that this log is in the heaviest possible category.
Yeah, it's a little stuck in there. Like the torque, 15, 16, 18.
With 8,000 kilos on the load meter, the chopper needs all the torque it can muster to lift off.
It's coming.
Even Mark is hanging on.
A big piece of fur for the end of the cycle.
I think I can feel it with the weight. You can feel that, right? Yeah.
It's a big adjustment. Nearly 9,000 kilos of hardwood on the hook.
There it is a bit, the vibration as you're coming down. What's that right there?
That's just going through the shutter as the aircraft transitions from forward flight to hover flight. And because it's such a heavy turn, you really feel it.
We got hit hard there for a while. It was hydraulic leaks, but last turn and we hit the loadout. It's pretty impressive to see.
It's the end of the cycle, and halfway through their goal for the day.
We're going to go into refuel and check the blades. Is that correct?
That's correct. We'll do a check the BIM indicators, make sure they're still pressured up. By the time we shut down, fuel up, they just walk around and check the BIMs.
Fantastic flying. Thanks, guys, very much.
BIMs. Sometimes you just gotta nod and smile when pilots throw heavy flight jargon at you.
Coming around!
But down on the ground, my buddy Derek is filling me in on what the BIM is.
BIM stands for Blade Inspection Method. We do that every 3 hours or every 5 hours, depending on how many external lifts we do. The BIM indicator is located at the root of the blade, and what it'll do is change colors from white to red, and that's a no-go.
So white's good to go, red is a no-go.
That's correct. And the purpose of that is to identify a possible flaw in the blade, such as a crack. That would definitely ground an aircraft.
And these blades are filled with nitrogen.
Correct.
And that's what you look at when you're looking at the BIM.
If the pressure drops and that nitrogen leaks out, then that indicator will change color, at which point we replace the blade. It's important to have that early indication system, otherwise it could be catastrophic.
It's impressive to see the S64 from above. You can see how all the components, the rotor shafts, the engine, it's really all exposed. It's out in the open, which makes it very user-friendly for these guys to work on. Does some of that come from its military past? It's very purpose-built.
Built for function, no wasted bits.
Get the S64 flying fast. Yeah, no wasted bits.
Less than 10 minutes after touchdown, the rotors are already turning again. but they'll only manage 7 hours of flying today, and they'd hope to reach 10.
We have about 1 more hour of flying, and that might be it for the day. They've been getting really high winds. It's cutting the day short. It's a real challenge for these guys, for the pilots and crew. All right, this is it. Let's go.
With such tight windows on these jobs, the days are jam-packed.
And clean up a little bit more of that creek, Mark? Okay.
That's because Lucille works 365 days a year, and she's due at her next post in less than a week.
Okay, 2 good ones.
If they don't finish this job in time, they're throwing money out the window.
They want to get to the next job as quick as possible. So. By afternoon, the last couple days, it's just gotten too windy to work.
Right, so weather is always a big challenge, but one thing you guys have been encountering recently is these winds picking up later in the afternoon. That's affecting the production day.
Yeah, it's cutting our day a little short.
When the elements don't cooperate, everybody pays the price.
Part of that shutter is coming around. You can feel the wind on the tail rotor until you get straight into wind. This aircraft tends to get breakages if you fly it in the wind.
Just what you want to hear mid-flight.
That shake you're feeling becomes quite amplified, and you will end up with damage on the aircraft. Hey, Brian, what do you think about that? Get a little rough around the end? Yeah, it was building throughout that cycle. It's starting to kick us. I think it might be time to shut down, Mark.
They need to bring Lucille down before the wind does it for them.
You can feel the winds on the tail rotor?
Winds coming in off the ocean are rocking the air crane.
They have the winds just swirling in here.
It'll just come into this bowl and it'll just swirl around. When it comes up under this belly and this belly's flat, it literally just about knocks your fillings out of your teeth.
When the helicopter uses the grapple, it slows from forward flight to hover flight. The rotor has to work harder to keep the helicopter up, and the air flows around it become more turbulent, making the chopper shake. Heavy winds can amplify these vibrations, and in extreme circumstances, cause cracks to form in the tail boom.
Wind's picking up on the leg there. I think it might be time to shut down, Mark. Give it to the engineers and they can get their maintenance done.
I've had enough. Thankfully, so have Mark and Brian.
That's it for the day. The wind's really picked up. They're gonna shut her down.
Shutting down early puts this team behind. They only have 4 days to finish the mission.
It's imperative that we hit these deadlines by the end of the week here.
Yeah, and you know the high winds today are coming in.
They're coming in. They're coming in not just today. They're coming in for the rest of the week here. So we need to get this aircraft going, and falling behind is not an option.
They're grounded. So we're going inside to see what kind of damage the powerful winds have done to Lucille.
All right, Derek. Hey. We're heading in to the tail boom for an inspection.
We're gonna do a tail boom inspection.
I've handled the heights. Now I'm taking on claustrophobia.
This is great. Look at this.
All the way to the back.
We're inside the air crane. It is tight in here. What are we looking for?
Well, we're looking for cracks anywhere on the structure. We're looking for maybe broken clamps here, chafed wires, anything that might be damaged at all. This tail is a big lever. Facilitates direction of the aircraft. Well, in windy conditions, it may have to work harder, so there's a lot of high stresses being put on this tail boom, particularly at the back. So this is a real critical area that we like to focus on every night.
It is a tight space, and it's an oven. We're cooking.
Bakes in the sun all day.
Temperatures have been climbing to over 30 degrees all week.
Tail booms are in pretty good shape. I think we'll make it to the next one.
Despite the heat and the wind, the air crane checks out for her next flight.
Light at the end of the tunnel. Here we are.
Derek.
Hey.
That looked great in there.
Yeah.
Everything checked out.
Everything checked out real well.
All right.
Yeah. No, it looked really good tonight, and we're ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, pre-start checks, first stage or servo check.
To make up for lost time, they're off to an early start the next day.
ready for takeoff.
There we go. Feels good. We're out of here. Crane's up there, guys. What do you got for us this thing?
They've got to beat the wind before the wind beats them.
20,000 pounds. Here we go.
Yesterday we've been logging down through here, through area B, so we still have all of this area that's going to fly to this drop zone 3.
So hopefully we can get some good flying.
Yeah, timing is going to be critical.
There's a lot of timber left on the hillside, but we're off to a solid start.
20,000 pounds. Bingo. Nice work, Mark.
The plan to head out early was a good idea.
Wind's picking up on the lake there. Yeah.
But after only 2 cycles, heavy winds push us down again.
2 coming off.
High winds again.
Yes.
Bad news. It just kicked right back up.
Yep.
But about half hour into the cycle, you can feel it building again. So,
All right.
so we decided in the end, there's no sense fighting it.
It'll bite into the profits, but Dave must listen to the pilots.
There's expectations out there, and we have to meet all those expectations.
Even though they can't haul wood, there's still a way to squeeze a full day out of the S64 Air Crane.
Forestry may be its bread and butter, but the Air Crane also cashes checks in aerial firefighting, because brute strength isn't the only trick this helicopter brings to the party.
The Air Crane is a multi-purpose helicopter.
The aircraft is configured for firefighting. We can fill it out of any water source, a stream, a creek, the ocean, in about 30 to 40 seconds.
2 forest fires have ignited in this area over the past 24 hours. Fire danger level remains steady at 4, where 5 is the maximum. These trees haven't seen rain in almost 3 weeks, so it can't hurt to give them a drink. While making sure the water bucket is ready to go if the fires come closer.
Derek, what are you hooking up here? How's this work?
We're hooking up the grips bucket.
Yeah.
So we take the long line for the grapple off and install this one.
It's still heavy-duty work. When filled, the giant bucket weighs nearly 8,000 kilograms.
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
They can test the bucket on a part of the mountain with less wind.
Winds are bad up there.
Yeah.
But okay to head to the lake.
Yes, it's good because it's you can feel the heat again this afternoon with the winds building up. Makes it worrisome for something sparking up. So
The S64 becomes an aerial firefighter.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Fuel boost pumps.
We're gonna go test the water bucket. 2,000 gallons coming up.
Our torque is 35%. Thank you.
If a fire lights up nearby, they'll be ready to join the fight.
What are some of the unique challenges about a water drop compared to heli-logging?
The water drop, you're going to want to hit your target, whether you're building fire guard or fighting directly to the fire. With this amount of water, you want it to spread out. A direct hit will actually knock trees into the fire and feed the fire.
It's all about precision.
All right, Mark, what are you lining up on your approach here?
We have a tree liner, so we'll do a spread the drop, try to get the whole tree line.
The push of the dump switch unleashes an instant storm.
Awesome. Right along the tree line.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice flying there, Mark.
Thanks, Mike.
Successful water drops. We're coming in for a landing.
That was awesome. These guys are unbelievable. Fantastic.
All right, Mike, pass me a sock there.
Here we go.
Perfect.
That's it for today. So Derek puts the Air Crane to bed.
Aircraft's looking good. It's the end of another long day, so we'll come again at it tomorrow. It's a busy schedule ahead of us. Anything can happen.
We have 3 days left on the mountain.
It's early in the morning. It's before 6 a.m. and we're heading up the mainline road out to the service landing.
Fog can be up high sometimes, but it can also settle down low in the valley.
Look at that.
Yeah, it looks like it's building down low here. That could be a showstopper.
Yesterday, heavy winds grounded the chopper. And now, it's fog keeping her out of the air.
There she is.
The The hope was that by starting early, we could catch up and get a few extra cycles in. No such luck.
All the service landing is covered in fog, and it's gonna stop the air crane from taking off. You can't see, you can't fly. There's some fog. What does that mean for you guys?
Well, we're gonna be fog delayed.
To see how long the air crane will be grounded, I head out with Todd and pilot Graham Gibson.
Morning, Grapple. How you doing? Good.
In the air crane support helicopter.
We're just coming up for a recce there, guys.
A smaller helicopter can still go up in heavy fog.
What do you see here, Todd? There's quite a lot of fog there.
We're looking at the 4 logging zones. Blocks A, B, C, and D. To see if there's anywhere that's visible enough to work.
How long have you been flying out here? 10 years in this area. I've been flying 20 years total, but 10 years out in this area. You know, the amount of time I spend around here flying around in the fog, I do know almost where every tree is, every little passageway.
These areas are notorious for heavy fog and high winds that can whip around in nearby valleys.
Is that fog threat to us, Todd, that could roll in on the service landing? It is. It's moving in from the ocean here today, so it's following its way up through the inlet.
The S64 Air Crane has to work within 30 meters of the tree line to grapple and drop logs. Not a place to be flying blind.
That fog's so thick you can't see any of the wood on the ground there in the loadout zones.
Out the window, all we see is white.
No, it's pretty thick down there, but hopefully that's about as far as it's going to go today. Yeah.
The pressure is mounting.
Morning, Todd.
Morning, Dave.
Derek. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Block B, the battle zone, right here today. Stress here to get this done?
Oh yeah, there's stress definitely to get this done. It's very tough to meet deadlines when you're getting weather like this.
Every hour the chopper isn't grappling is tens of thousands of dollars lost.
We're losing a couple hours in the morning due to fog, and then the afternoon winds come up. You know, we're not getting our maximum hours per day that we could. We want to bang off those 10-hour days. So yeah, we're gonna need a good 3 days here to make this happen.
So early morning fog, late afternoon winds, it squeezes the number of cycles these guys can get in. So they're gonna have to turn this around and get some good days rolling so they can hit those numbers for the loadouts at the end of the week.
The mechanics are making the best of a bad situation.
We're gonna go into the attic, and there's a lot of bits up here.
All right, we're up in the attic above the cockpit.
Derek seizes the downtime for a badly needed inspection of Lucille.
There's a lot of stuff packed in here, Mike. Flight controls, these current transformers.
Looking for anything that's come loose, anything.
I'm gonna check all the wires in here, mostly. Make sure everything's attached securely. Make sure there's no smoke or discoloration, which could mean it's either loose or something shorting out.
If a wire short circuits, it could start a fire right next to the cockpit. That's not the case today.
All looks pretty good in here, Mike. That's it. Time to get out.
Smoke show.
As we get into late morning, the temperature is rising.
The sun has started hitting the valley, and this fog is just disappearing.
The sun's gonna come over the hill, and we're gonna be ready to go.
The pilots are getting ready. The S64 Air Crane is gonna take off.
Oh, here we come.
Yep. Okay. Clear 3.
Clear 3.
Fuel, light. Starter's gone.
I'm joining Dave to check out our progress so far.
The scale of this is impressive. Look at this.
Oh, it's I love this part about my job.
Holy shit, look at the size of this.
Oh yeah.
That's towering.
It is.
And the air crane can build a deck like this in
a few hours.
Few hours.
A few hours.
It's 40 feet high, for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It smells fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What sort of value do we have with red cedar and some of the higher end logs?
Red cedar can be anywhere around $5,000 just for that one piece.
There's still a huge amount of wood left on this mountain, so the pressure is high to keep the crews moving.
Yeah, the air crane's a real moneymaker, right?
Yeah.
But it only has value if they can get it out of the forest. Though Mark and Brian are looking on the bright side.
The views are great from up here, though. Beautiful, man.
Now up in the air, Lucille is making good time.
Taking this one downhill, guys, is going straight down the creek.
Yeah, I'm way over towards Gabe.
Thanks, guys.
until those mid-afternoon winds return with a vengeance.
The helicopter's starting to feel the loss of performance.
It's too much of a struggle for Lucille.
We're just gonna change our game plan here.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Todd.
They're grounded again.
Down, 0 fuel flow. T5 and NG are coming down.
I feel like it's all on your shoulders here a little bit. You have the fog, the wind.
It just seems like you get a good run of weather, but every now and then you get into these situations, so it's tough.
They're a full day behind. The job tomorrow just got even tougher. The next morning, as we get ready to leave for the service landing, there's a new threat on the horizon.
So what are we seeing over here? It's lightning, but it's
called dry lightning, where you get, there's zero rain.
Even when it doesn't rain, it pours. A heat wave has engulfed the West Coast. Lightning strikes are a significant threat to the logging operations.
That's the worst case scenario for a forest fire here at this point. That's when the threat of shutdown really becomes real. Yeah, I mean, you can have up to 50, 60 lightning strikes all through the forest in a dry lightning storm. Out of 60 strikes, 10 fires could pop up.
And there's still $500,000 worth of wood waiting on the hillside. If they can't move it, it could go up in flames.
Let's get out there.
Absolutely.
All right. This job that you guys have out there right now, it's a tough one.
Oh, yeah. It's been anything but normal on this hillside. It's a bit of a monster, this one.
As the temperature rises, the fallers get the order to shut down within the hour.
But maybe we should get rid of that stuff first.
Okay.
While the heli-logging crew scrambles for answers of their own.
There could be fires popping up today. The fallers are shut down all over, but we're still going.
Unless they also get shut down by the Forest Service.
Oh shit, hey.
Bad news has just come in.
1 p.m.
It's 5 days after 5 days to bump into a 5.
Yeah.
Without rain, the fire hazard will be pushed to 5.
I mean, there's a little bit of
the
rain,
highest
but
and
it's
most
kind of a
dangerous
double-edged
levels.
sword.
And when you hit 5, level 5,
that means shut down right away.
They need to finish the job before that happens.
we saw lightning in this area. It's coming in.
Yeah.
If it sparks, that wood is gone. $500,000 up in smoke.
Absolutely.
You always have to be prepared to adapt.
You ready? Yeah, I think so. Here we go. Clock runner.
There's no rain in the forecast. It's now or never.
Gator turn is the first one out of the gate. It's a small one, slapped up cedar. If I tried to build with it, it'd probably all fall apart.
But 5 minutes into the flight,
getting an intermittent low boost later on the aux panel.
Something's broken.
Check the breakers. Not seeing any oil leaking out the line or the grapple. Look at that aux pack.
A mechanical failure at this point could bring the entire operation to an end before the day has really even begun.
Extra clear, extra. Yeah, grapple's starting to slow down. We're gonna have to head in.
They're under a deadline and the looming threat of forest fires. But pilots Mark and Brian are forced to land.
We only got one cycle in, they had to come back. There's oil. There's oil everywhere. So you can see the leak up there? Well, I thought I saw like an atomized mist. Right. We have a low pressure light on the aux hydraulic pack, which operates the grapple. Okay, so we got to investigate, find out what's going on.
Supplying Lucille with vital hydraulic fluid, the auxiliary tank is critical to keeping equipment like the Grapple running. The 22-liter tank is located right next to the engine exhaust and is filled with highly flammable hydraulic fluid. If this liquid escapes because a component fails, the mist could ignite and cause a catastrophic explosion.
This is our aux hydraulic pack. If the pressure builds too high, this disc here is designed to release that pressure to prevent the thing from blowing up. So this is a blowout valve. So when the pressure gets too high in the aux pack, it releases to prevent it from rupturing. And that's what's happened. You can tell. If I plug it up, the pressure builds, and I let it go. So we're gonna have to change that.
All right, here's the failed part. It's blown right through.
Even issues with small parts can make this job impossible to complete.
Just gotta unscrew it all the way from the top.
so they've got to work fast. Because thousands of dollars are lost when Lucille is on the ground. And time is running out.
How's it looking?
Looks real good. John's gonna repair it and we're good to go.
All right, good news.
All green. Feels good. No lights and all clear.
After 40 minutes, the hydraulic tank is fixed, and the crew is back in the air.
No lights. Thank you.
But with 2 fires burning and the threat of more erupting, this heli-logging crew has got to do 2 days of work today.
So we'll go up with the support helicopter.
This could be our last day, so it's really important for us to get a full day in here today. It's crunch time for us right now.
I'm joining the scout team to see what the S64 Air Crane has left to do.
Just want to have a bit of a regular grab. Maybe we can start with A-block there. Yeah, no problem. What do you see here, Todd?
Yeah, so the crane's just finished now. Looks like he's only got maybe just a few turns left here.
How much wood is left down there?
Yeah, we've got a lot of wood in the landing. There's going to be over 10,000 cubic meters of wood there to load out.
So it's doable on a day and the winds cooperate?
Yeah, if we can get a good day in here today, that's good grab for me.
Okay. That level 5 fire threat's coming in. It will shut down this operation at some point very soon. So the S64 has to get it done today.
Drop down here. Looks like there's lots of room there. Very cool.
This could be one of the last flights of this mission. The last big wood on the hillside is there for the taking, so the air crane is gonna go get it.
They've got more than a dozen cycles in the can so far, and I'm strapping in for another round.
Torque's 35. All right, guys, crane's up.
It's gonna be a wild ride, and I've got my bark bag just in case.
The unpredictability of this, of being able to finish out a zone and get it done, I mean, you have to pray to the weather gods every day, really, right?
Fortunately, today the weather gods are smiling, and nobody here is folding under the pressure.
So we're down to the last big wood on the hillside. You think we can clear it?
Yeah, we're getting down to the end now. Everybody's working hard.
So far, this helicopter's been rock solid for you guys.
That's right. Very dependable. Very strong.
We've got one more to go, and this log is a giant.
Was that one right at the limit? It was 19 plus?
It's about 19,000 pounds. We're good for that.
That's 8,600 kilograms, and the air crane makes it look easy.
Hey, Todd, the last log is in the landing. We're on our way in.
Perfect. Right on. Thanks, Brian.
Good job, guys.
On to the next one.
Mission complete. Awesome.
Breakdowns, heavy winds, fog, and fires. Nothing went by the book, but they got it done.
Once again, a pleasure. Thank you.
And 14 million in timber is ready for the mill.
Last big hammer out of there up the hillside, cleared the hillside.
Yeah, super excited that we're finished.
I mean, it's unbelievable what we've done, and now the job is complete and we can carry on to our next job.
Without tough jobs, there wouldn't be easy ones.
These are big loads, and these machines and these trucks have big appetite. The S64 meets those needs every time.
Across this mission, the air crane and its crew have shown their resolve in the face of many dangers and astonishing challenges. But the bond this team has built is at the heart of what keeps the air crane moving, on the job and in the sky.